Okay, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Summer exclusive Death's Head. Now, I don't usually do reviews like this where I've already played with the figure, but I picked this up at San Diego Comic-Con. And I travel light. I don't check bags. It's whatever I can carry in my backpack or in my hand. So I took the figure out of the box, folded it flat, stuffed it into the backpack, put Death's Head in a bag, and then security, fly, drive, here we are. And I don't know if the term summer exclusive is correct, but I use that because this is not just strictly San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. By the time this video posts, this should be available on BigBadToyStore.com. The link is in the description. And in most other scenarios, I would have tossed this in the trash, but I was collecting the 90s trading cards. Here is my original collection from back in the day, and I need to go through these. I like this kind of thing. Because of that, this stroked my nostalgia bone, so this had to come home with me for something. Where the hell am I going to put this? They even recreated the background of the card in the insert, which you can take out and use as a background for the figure if you wanted to take some pictures with it or something. See, I don't know if both are in focus, but you get the idea. On the side, there's some comic art of Death's Head. On the back, there's the powers. Just, oh, look at that. It's pretty much everything, except the card doesn't have a warning for small parts. I mean, you can put the card in your mouth if you want to, but I don't know why. So, not this in your mouth, not that in your mouth, not the figure in your mouth. Just be aware of what you put in your mouth. On the other side, there's that art again. On top, Death's Head logo. On bottom, Legalese barcode. Let's look at the figure since it's already opened. But since I'm holding it still, and I'm apparently talking about the package more than the figure, I'd like to see a special run of Legends in this same box art, this same style, this same presentation. Especially if the figure is meant to evoke the look from the original card. That's just neat. That's something a little extra. Looking at the figure, there is reuse going on here, but that's okay because the design elements fit Death's Head. The torso under this overlay is obviously Colossus. This inlay piece right here has been modified though. Over here, Colossus has the shoulder flares and the costume goes all the way up and over. On Death's Head, the flares are cut off at the shoulder and then the neck extends down to show that groove look. That's actually part of this. But then they kept these sculpted grooves coming down the front here so they could reuse the abs. They would have looked weird just stopping right here, so extend them up, hide them up under the new overlay piece for the shoulder pads. The trunks under there also belong to Colossus, and then the upper legs, but they've been modified to be pinless. The arms are also reused, but on my Colossus I replaced them with Marvel Select arms to be a bit more sleeker and the gauntlets look better. Bearded Colossus uses the original Colossus arms, so same shoulders, same biceps, same forearms, same bracers. See, you got the grooves on the inside there. The knees and lower legs are new though. The original Colossus had these things sticking up off his and then fairly plain lower legs. They wanted the metal banding to come down to the top of the boot. Could we see a new Colossus out of this? The boots have these sculpted parts coming around the calf. There's spikes at the ankles and then some battle damage, some dings, some dents, some scratches. The new hands have this pad sculpted on the back with some pokey, spiky knuckles, and then there are fingernails sculpted to the fingers. Like I said, the shoulder pads are also new and they have that same battle damage as the boots. There's dings and then little extra paintwork like their blast marks, not painted on the back dings though. The waist overlay is also new. It has these armor plates coming down, again scratches and dings. There's this flap for a little bit of decency on the front, but you get around to the back, they're assless. He's wearing shorts under there, but it's covered by the cape. And then some nice paintwork for the rings around the belt with this yellow and red paintwork going all the way around. Now the shoulder pads are plugged into the back on the shoulder blades, and then the cape is sandwiched in between those. So it is a separate piece, but everything's glued together. Getting to that, very nice texture to it. A lot of detail to look at, getting down to these tears and ragged edge across the bottom. The cape itself doesn't have a lot of movement, but it's thin enough up here to allow it to flap out for action poses. And it's close enough to the body, even weaving in between the legs and feet, that it doesn't cause any balance issues. We're gonna do this one-handed, but bam! not a problem at all. Finally, there is the head, and there's no denying that this is Death's head. Look at that. That is imposing. Have a little red to the eye, some yellow to the teeth, red to the horns, just a mechanical silver look. Sure, there may be some swirly twirly to the plastic on the silvers, but it looks fantastic. Engineering, like I said, this flaps out, so it won't be too bad getting out of the way. This flaps up and down, so if you're going around there, okay, that could be a problem, but not too bad. And then the belt floats up and down to get out of the way, although this is still attached down to here. So if you try to kick out, it's going to hinder a bit, even with this kind of exposure. Yes? Going over articulation, there is a ball at the top of the neck with a hinge going down. That allows for some up and not a lot of down. Little bit of tilt left and right. Pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around. The shoulder pads are going to get in the way. If you go out a little bit, you can bring it around. There you go. Hinge at the shoulder goes up to about right there. Swivel like the bicep. Single hinge at the elbow comes up to about 90. Colossus is an older figure, so they haven't really worked on the engineering in a while. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Hinge mid-torso crunches this far, arcs back, and then there's a cut at the waist that rotates. Ball coming out to the hip, kicks to there and back, goes out about right there. Swivel at the thigh, double knee. Oh, even for a big buff fella, he can still kick his own ass. That's why it's exposed. Swivel at the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, there are 2 fists. Marvel Legends, of course they're gonna pop out. With that, you can swap on a gesturing right hand that really showcases those pointy fingernails. And then there's an alternate grip left hand, which is good because he comes with this shield. Again, there's some battle damage to it. He's done some peacekeeping. On the back, the bar is shaped like an L. There's one going down and one going out. You can slip that into the hand like that and use the shield going forward, or slip it in like that and it's just kind of in neutral position. Doesn't block a lot though. Or there's a hole in the back to plug the shield in for storage. And I do mean storage. We'll get to that. Because there's also alternate arm weapons. There's an axe, there is a missile, I guess, and then there is the spiked ball. Now, if you have the fists on and you just want Death's head hanging out, you can take this, and there's clips here on the back to store, oh, let's see, right there, maybe like that, and one in the middle. And that just adds a little something, you know, he's hanging out at a bar or tracking bounty or something, and he's not using his weapons yet. My mental image of him has this spiked ball in there. Then you can take this and put it off to the side to even it out a little bit, put it back on his back. Weapon storage. That does leave 3 hands to put in a bin, but that's okay. Look at this guy. Look at this complete badass. And the size makes it even more imposing because it stands at about 7.5 inches tall, which does put him slightly taller than Colossus, maybe the new lower legs, but then check out the size difference between a standard Marvel Legends like Vulcan, and just a smidge taller than Death's Head 2, who we got a long time ago at this point. Can you take a stab at which version was designed in the 90s? Ooh, dark and green. And then here he is next to the Yellow Park AMK Pro Series Generation 1 Megatron and Optimus Prime model kits. So at the end of the day, this is exactly what I wanted. Now don't get it wrong, I was never the world's biggest Death's Head fan. But I knew of Death's Head, I knew the design, I had seen him in places around the Marvel Universe. The handbooks and the trading cards hold a lot of sway over me, and that's exactly where my love for this design comes from. I was gonna use this along with this head to make this version. I was already in the process of trying to figure out how to do the shoulder pads and the belt armor pieces and everything else when Hasbro announced this, and I thought, well, well, dang. I may still use this and try to do the Transformers version with the green vest and parts of the costume. It's just different enough to, I don't know. This is the one I wanted, for sure. And you know what? I mentioned reuse. Looking at the trading card again, they still got damn close to that look with just a few new parts. Absolutely happy that I picked this up. And again, it's not just San Diego Comic-Con. The link should be in the description to other places that you can order this now. I need to work on some clothing on top of this. Maybe. This kind of shot down in priority now that I have this, but